Hey guys! It's me again. We're back up in my room where you can see just how freaking pale I am because I'm against a white wall and I'm literally 3 shades darker than the wall, and that's it. That's it. I don't know what's going on with my hair today. I've got like a little tail. That's okay. I'm gonna try to make this video really quick because I've got to go eat dinner. I don't really know if I'll edit it much. Also, sorry Lauren, you have legitimate excuses because you're sick, but I'm just kind of an ass. Anyway, I turned 17 yesterday, and that's weird for a lot of reasons. First of all, technically I'm the age of consent, which doesn't affect me at all because I'm not getting it on with anyone, surprisingly, because I'm just so attractive. Anyway, but also because where I live, you can be legally tried as an adult at 17. So that's fun. My camera keeps shaking. That's fun. So I can legally be tried as an adult now, yet I'm still seen as a minor, and I still, like, I'm not an adult in the eyes of the law, but I can be tried as an adult, which is pretty weird, I guess. But I get whatever. It's weird to me. Birthdays, like, are just always weird, and they're weird for everyone. Like, the amount of media that has taken place of people just being like, birthdays are weird, is enormous. Like, if you read any young adult book where there's a birthday happening, it'll say, wow, it doesn't feel like my birthday, I don't feel any older. This happens everywhere. It always does. And then when you get old enough, and when you get older in like older literature where there are actual adults, it always has something to do with people forgetting their birthdays. Oh, my phone's ringing. And then when you get into older literature where there are actual adults instead of just teens or younger, like there is in young adult fiction, it generally, if they talk about birthdays, it has something to do with forgetting their birthday. This is in Great Gatsby when Nick Carraway only realizes that it's his 33rd birthday late in the day after they've gone to the hotel and during a fight. It's also in Water for Elephants, which I think I talked about in my last video. The guy starts off saying, I am 92, or 93, or something. And, yeah, so obviously everyone feels pretty weird about birthdays. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people feel weird about birthdays. This isn't an uncommon concept. I think the reason that people feel weird about birthdays is the fact that we're trying to quantify something that we live through and not something that we can hold in front of ourselves. Like, generally when you try to number things, you're numbering things that you can look at in a very tangible way. Like, I've got milk duds, so we're gonna be using those. This wasn't planned, I just had milk duds. If you have 3 milk duds, then you can hold up 3 milk duds and say, I have 3 milk duds. And that's the same whether you have 3 milk duds or whether you have 25 milk duds or whether you have 92 milk duds. But at that point you might have problems carrying them. You can still lay them out and count them, and you can be sure, like, how many you have. And they're very there and they're very real. Whereas with time, you live through that and you don't see it. You can't hold how many years you have lived through in the palm of your hands. Anyway, unlike milk duds, an entire year doesn't present itself in one single unit. We can make it into a unit after it happens. We can mark off 365 days of our past, or 365 days of our past and future, and say, this amount of time is a year. But when you're going through that, it doesn't really feel like a year. It feels like individual days, which add into weeks, which add into months, which adds into a year. And this concept of time isn't new to anyone, obviously. We've all been dealing with it our entire lives. But I think the reason birthdays are so weird is that you take this giant amount of things that have happened, you mark it off and you say this is a year, but you can't hold it. Like I said, you can't really look at it in any concrete way to know how exactly long it's been. You can only rely on your memories, and as you get older, the amount of memories you have grows, so it's harder to keep track of the years, hence forgetting the amount of years you have the older you are. Though I guess this is kind of the same thing with if you've got like food or candy. If you've got like 95 milk duds, you're probably not going to know, or like let's say you've got 97, that's more an abstract number. You're probably not going to say, I have 97 milk duds. You're probably going to say, I have around 100 milk duds. But it's weird to think that we're generally more exact about the amount of milk duds we have than we have years. Because years are kind of more important than food. Uh, I think the reason it's so weird is because you live, birthdays especially, is because you live through this entire year, and then in one day, you are a different age. And even though you've been changing this whole time, it only becomes official that day. And I'm sure this is a conclusion that everyone's come to, so this really isn't any enlightening information. It's just something that I think about every time I hit my birthday, because it's always like, oh look, now you're a different age, but no one ever feels a different age on their birthday. And if they do feel different on their birthday, it's generally them feeling, why don't I feel more different on my birthday? So it's just a whole circle of weird. Anyway, time is strange. Milk duds are good. I don't know anything about relativity and really shouldn't try talking about it. I love both of you guys. My music suggestion for this week is Female Robbery by The Neighborhoods, because it's a good ass song. It doesn't relate to anything that we've been talking about. I was just listening to it for the entirety of today, and it's a good song, so that's what we're going with. I'm gonna try to edit this and put it on the internet before I have to leave. Goodbye! I love you!